What's going on, everybody? It's the guy from the frozen north again, and I'm back to give you another review here on the Arsenal Camera Assistant. Is this thing worth the $175 that I spent on it in the 4-month wait? Stay tuned and let's find out.
If you're thinking about, let me know.
Alright guys, so this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's the review on the Arsenal Camera Assistant. So, according to the company, this thing is supposed to unlock the full potential of your camera. It's almost like having your own personal assistant in your pocket. The Arsenal also uses ultra lightweight technology, and the built-in AI is supposed to analyze the scene and help you to determine the best settings possible. Arsenal also uses ultra lightweight technology, and the built-in AI is supposed to help you take better photos in any condition. One of the other things that they're advertising about the Arsenal is it's supposed to help you take full wireless control of your camera from up to 100 feet away. According to the company, Arsenal is trained on over 1,000 photos to help the camera determine the best settings possible for taking a specific photo. The artificial intelligence that's built into the Arsenal is supposed to help you determine the best ISO, the best shutter speed, and the best aperture for the scene that you're trying to take a picture of. What's also really cool about the Arsenal is you can use it in conjunction with your phone. So if you've got an Android or an ISO, I believe those are the only two that I know of at the moment that this can be used with. But if you have that, you can use it as a wireless shutter. So it'll recommend the best settings. It'll show you on your phone. It gives you a live view. You can alter that right from your phone, in which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. Alright guys, so now comes the time to actually open the box and see what's inside. And I'll be completely honest with you, this is the first time in my life that I have bought something, had it shipped to me, and refrained from opening the box. The reason I did this is because I know how much people love the unboxing experience. They want to see everything like you do when it first comes out of the box. So I've saved that for you guys. I have actually refrained from taking a knife to this thing. I don't know if you can see it, but the plastic's still on it. It's still sealed up. Okay? I have not cut it open and resealed it. So you'll see it as I see it. This video is just going to be the unboxing, and I want to talk about the quality of the build, the parts that comes with it, what you can expect when you open the box. I also wanted to give you guys a few of the insights of what the Arsenal is all about. So without further ado, let's crack this thing open and see what's inside. Right, guys, so here we go. Here's the Arsenal. This is don't make fun of me, all right? This is the only knife I could find right now. So we're gonna use this letter opener, okay? All right. All I'm doing is I'm taking off the cellophane. Okay, you're not missing anything yet, I promise. Plastic is off. All right, so here's the box. It's a nice little box. It was a little smaller than I expected. I expected a pretty big, decent sized box, but apparently they went on the smaller route, and I commend them for that, for fitting everything that's supposed to come with this thing inside of here. Okay, so lid off. Alright, so the first thing we see when we open this thing, okay, it says thank you for choosing Arsenal, and it gives their website there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Probably not. It's probably too bright. But with arsenal.com/start to get started. So it gives us some starting instructions, which is good, because we're probably going to need them. And the next thing we get is the device itself, the Arsenal. Alright, so let's take this thing out. Okay, right off the bat, I can tell you, I can feel that it's not very light. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It's light, but it feels like it's made with some quality material. Like it's not cheaply made. It doesn't feel like a light, cheap plastic. So that's good. It's got some heft to it. All right. And on the top here, you can see that it's got the Arsenal name. got the power button. Let's see. On the sides here, we've got the micro USB. Got the hot shoe mount that goes on top of the camera. And I'm filming with this camera that I'm going to be using this with right now currently, so I won't show you guys how that goes on there. I think you guys are all pretty smart enough to figure that out. So, as we move on, we can open up this little flap here. And down here, it looks like we've got some charging material items. They do specify when you order, or when you pre-order this, what camera do you have. I've got the Nikon D7200 for this. So you choose your appropriate camera and they send you the appropriate attachment cable, it looks like. So that'll connect to my camera and this will connect to the Arsenal. Alright, so it looks like this is a chargeable unit. Alright, I don't see any place to put batteries, which isn't a big deal. So you just got to make sure that when you're taking this thing out to use it, that you actually charge the thing up and it's ready for use for when you go, because we've got some charging cables. So just like an iPhone or any other phone, you get the charging brick, okay, and you get the charging cable. And that looks like that's everything that's in the box, guys. I mean, it's a pretty simple unboxing, nothing flashy, nothing too exciting. Let's see if this thing's got any juice in it. It does. So you can see right there, you hit the power button on top. Got a nice blue, and this is a really nice blue. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up too well, but it's got a nice blue LED on here, which went off. I don't know if that's just in a stamp. Ooh, there you go. It's gone into a smaller LED. It almost looks like Knight Rider, if you guys have ever seen that show. You got Kit, the car. He's got his little LED strip that goes across the front. That's kind of what this looks like and what it reminds me of. Alright, so this looks like... I don't know if it matters which side you put the... I suppose I'd probably have to read the instructions, right? I'm not sure which side is the output side that goes to your camera and which side is for charging. Well, maybe that might have answered my question. Oh, no, got it upside down. Alright, so that's that side. Does it fit that side? No, okay, so that actually makes sense. So, luckily, they were smart enough and they put two different size micro USBs. So it looks like this side to the right, or your left, however you want to look at it, has a one size only. This connects to your, or this will be sitting up there like this, and this will connect to your camera. So I'm pretty impressed with the quality of the build, guys. Like I said, it doesn't feel cheap. It's got a little bit of a weight to it, so I'm pretty eager to see how this thing handles. Yeah, stay tuned for the next video, guys. I will be doing a full review on this thing. Like I said in my previous video, I am going to be putting this thing through its trials. I want to see, is this thing a gimmick? You know, is this really going to help me with my photography? Is it really going to help me get that awesome shot? There's a lot of things that you can do with the Arsenal from what I was reviewing online. One of the things being stack photos. So what that means is, with stack photos, you can do them as HDRs, but I'll explain that here in a second. So stack photos, you'll focus on one spot and you'll take a series of photos. You're stacking your photos, okay? So you'll focus at one point in the foreground, you'll take another picture, you'll focus out a little bit further, take another picture, you'll focus out a little bit further, now you're in like the mid-ground. Take another picture, and now you're in the background of the photo, okay? So you've taken a series of shots, depending on how many you take, and what that's doing is, when you combine that image, you've now hit every single focus point from foreground to background, making that entire image in focus. Is one of the things that it's supposed to do. So it'll take a series of, like, let's say 9 shots, and in 9 shots they're taking, you know, focus points from the foreground to the background, compiling them into one image to make ultimately the sharpest picture you can possibly get. So I'm excited for that. I've never done that before, so I'm kind of eager to see how that's going to work out. The other part is HDR photos. So for those of you that don't know what HDR is, it's high dynamic range. Cameras can only, how's the best way to put this? A camera can only see so much of an image. It can only capture so much of a scene. A lot of the times you have to sacrifice brightness to capture the shadows. A lot of the times you have to sacrifice shadows to capture the sunset. So if you're trying to take a picture of a sunset, that's the sun shining into your camera, so you have to, stop it down a bunch. And what it does is it makes the image darker to capture the sunlight coming in. Well, everything else is dark. So if you want to capture, the shadows and that sunset, that bright light, you have to take a series of pictures. So you'll take one that captures the awesome oranges or whatever the colors are of that sunset. You'll capture that image. Then you'll take another picture. You'll brighten it up a little bit. Take another picture that captures like your mid-tones. Stop it up a little bit more, and you'll capture your shadows. So you combine those 3 images together. Now I've got my light, my highlights, my mid-tones, and my shadows all rolled into one picture. And now, where the camera lacks, those 3 photos make it up. You combine those 3 images, and now you've got a well-exposed photo that you can see the sunset, that you can see the foreground. You capture as much of the image as possible. I'm not too sure what else. I mean, obviously this thing is going to, recommend some pretty nice apertures. It'll sense what your camera is capable of. I believe that the artificial intelligence that's built into this, it knows the cameras that this thing's been loaded with. It's been, I guess, learning the strengths and weaknesses of certain cameras and certain lenses. So if it senses that you're using a Nikon camera with, let's just say a 35mm lens, okay, a prime lens, it knows that you're using that lens, and it'll say, okay, well, this lens for this camera really suffers at this aperture. So what we're going to do is we're going to work around that, and it'll recommend a setting that, is best suited for that camera to capture the sharpest picture possible. The other thing they advertise with this is blur, not really blur, but one of the things that people like to do with, let's say, waterfalls is they like to use filters on their camera that stop down the shutter speed enough to where they can capture the water flowing, and it's not a solid image. And I'll post a picture up here in the corner of that type of image that they're trying to capture. So as you can see, the water looks more fluid. There's no real hard edges. It's a smooth image. The water, it gives that sense that the water is moving as opposed to being frozen in time. And what this does is it takes a series of pictures. So if you've got moving water, you'll take a series of pictures, and it'll compile that image, again, just like the HDR or the stack photos. But what it'll do is it'll blur that water. So if you've got moving water and everything else is still, it'll take a series of photos, compile that image, and now instead of having to buy, a $100 filter to put on your camera, I paid $175 for this, but it's one item that does many things versus a filter that does one thing. Instead of having to buy filters for your camera, the Arsenal recommends a setting, takes a series of photos, and that helps you create an image, again, like the waterfall that we just saw. You won't have to put, they claim, you don't have to buy ND filters to do that effect anymore. The Arsenal will do it for you. So again, guys, I'm really excited to try this out. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Show some support. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on the future videos that are to come. I actually ended up buying a bunch of other gear for the channel that I plan on reviewing, but this was the one that I was a little more excited about, so this one's going to be the first one that I do. So hit that subscribe button, guys. You don't want to miss out. So until then, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one.